All right, here we go. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make it really quick. I have a topic I want to talk about, and I haven't uploaded a video in a while, so I wanted to go ahead and just make one here on my computer. But let me see. Basically, I kind of just wanted to come on here and I wanted a new upload, and then I also wanted to talk about a topic that's really important to me, which is the Bible. And me personally, in my own life, I don't go to church or anything like that, y'all know, but I think that, or not even I think that, for me, the Bible is my book of shadows. So if you watch Charmed, if you watch Supernatural, if you watch any of those, supernatural type witchy, demon slaying, vampire type shows, then you know that like they always have like a journal or something, or just something written down giving them pointers for how to do their job, basically to guide them for their purpose in their life. Sam and Dean from Supernatural, they're demon slayers. The Charmed ones, they're demon slayers, and all those other things. So what they have their book of shadows, and my book of shadows here on planet Earth is the Bible. Because if you read the Bible, which so many people haven't, but you guys know that I have, because I was a freaking diehard, practicing, indoctrinated, freaking Hebrew Israelite, I'm gonna walk this word. I was such a zealot that, that's why I read the Bible. So I was such a freaking zealot when I was first studying that, yes, I actually ended up reading the Bible. Did I end up continuing to pursue or live the lifestyle like the Hebrew Israelites? No, I didn't. I figured that if I'm going to be living this life on planet Earth, basically what happened to me was trying to live my life that way. Literally, I wound up in hell trying to live my life according to those laws, statutes, and commandments, because I'm sitting up here and I'm putting forth the actual intent and the actual effort to worship, to honor these laws, statutes, and commandments. And I'm like, wait a second, like I'm doing all of this. I'm in a relationship, you know what I mean? Like I'm with the father of my child and things like that. I'm thinking like I'm just trying to have a really sacred life. So I'm going to be doing all this because I want to make sure like our bond is, sacred and untainted and things like that. So I'm going to hold up my end of the bargain. So I'm doing all that and I'm like, you know what? There's actually no payout for all of this work that I'm doing. The only payout is that I grow spiritually. But now I have other things to do because I'm surrounded by people who are not on the same wavelength as me. So that's fine. I'm not like sad about that anymore. I've gotten out of that. I don't do the Hebrew Israelite thing anymore. But that Bible is still the truth. And I'm not going to change my mind about that just because I've seen how it applies to my own life. And I've seen the steps that I've taken to, walk by that light. So what do I mean when I say that I use the Bible as my book of shadows? Well, here's where I'm going to start. That may come across as really like witchcrafty or really sinister or satanic or anything like that. But if you really look at it, the people who use the Bible to control, manipulate, brainwash, that's the sinister stuff that should really be looked at. The things, the churches that are collecting people's money in the name of faith, like that's the satanic stuff, in my opinion. I know other people, they have their own way of thinking about things, but for me, that is, when I read the Bible, or even when I'm talking about the Bible, I don't have any agenda other than to be like righteous. Like that's my only agenda. I wouldn't read the Bible if I didn't have an actual desire within me to, walk correctly on this domain on planet Earth, so that's the only reason why like I went hard like that. I don't use it to try and indoctrinate anybody. I don't use it to try and control anybody. I interpret the Most High in a very different way than I've been taught, so I don't basically I hear people's teachings, but I still stay true to my truth. because I decide my truth for my life. I'm the goddess of my life. That, if that sounds crazy to you, if that sounds satanic, if that sounds like I'm bougie, if that sounds like I'm higher than most, or I have a god complex, yes, I have a god complex. I have a goddess complex, because when I was pregnant and I was reading that Bible, I know that those messages were hitting my freaking soul. Like, the messages were coming in. I was learning, and that was a big deal to me. And it happened during like my pregnancy open vortex, like when I literally had an open portal in my body. I'm not even gonna get into that, because I know people just don't care. But I know that I use the Bible as my book of shadows, because I just follow those instructions and I live by those instructions. Now, I don't do everything to the T, as you can see, like Hebrew Israelites. Reason being is because I'm a human being. Okay, these rules are guidelines. I don't set up my life to where if I don't follow these rules, I'm gonna be in hell, because I actually lived the reality. I lived the reality of following those rules, and I landed myself in hell because I wasn't aware of the whole situation. I was so focused on these laws, statutes, and commandments, and I wasn't looking at real life. I wasn't looking at real life and how it tied into real life. And that's why if you read the Bible, you say like, sins don't even exist anymore. But y'all didn't read that part, so I won't go into that part. But sins don't exist. When you get to God consciousness, those laws, statutes, and commandments don't apply to you. I've said that in another video, and I'm very passionate about that. That's why I'm so animated as I'm talking, because like I know what the work I put in. Like, I know the work I put in. So I take it very seriously. And that Bible is like it is my book of shadows. It is where I go to when I need a reminder. I do break open Psalms. You know what I mean? I do go back to John. And I remember freaking Job and how everything was snatched from him and he had to, maintain faith. Like, those stories, y'all haven't been through nothing. Like, if those stories do not hit you, then you can't relate. And if you can't relate, then what I'm saying is not going to be making any sense. So I did want to make that really quickly, just saying, like, I don't study to try and control anyone. I was like that, especially like when I was living in Dominican Republic. The people that I was hanging out with, like, I would try to go to church and I was just like, y'all in here just speaking nonsense. Like, this is what I learned, blah-de-blah-de. And I just was so righteous and just trying to be right and stuff like that. Like, all of that is in the past. Everyone is living their life how they want to live their life and how they should live their life. Everyone is doing what they're supposed to do. So I don't look at it as like this person's sinning or that person's sinning. That's not a part of my reality anymore. There are no sins in Zena's world. There's no sins. There's only life and presence. And it's like, I can only show up right now and do what I'm doing right now. Like, I can plan for the future. I can strategize. I can put a lot of stuff in motion. And then at the end of the day, I understand there is a force that's larger than me when I'm playing around on this earth realm. Okay? I can plan to go to Texas next week. I surely can. But, the gods or the goddesses might say, hey, let's send a tidal wave into Hollywood, Florida. Because I'm literally right off the beach. So, so I'm like, I'm just saying, like, I'm very realistic. I understand the way life is. And because I understand that, I feel like the Bible is a great guideline or a great, a great book that you can always refer to when you're feeling lost, when you're feeling like you don't have answers. You know what I mean? And I trust it because it's so damn old and I get to interpret it my way. That's why it's my book of shadows. There's actual spells in there. Did you read the part about, like, if a woman is suspected to be cheating on her husband? Like, do you remember that freaking spell, that ritual where, like, she has to, write something down on a piece of paper and, like, put it in this ashy, burn it and then, like, put it in, like, some water and then drink it? I don't remember the spell, like, step for step. But that's in the Bible. If you ask me, that sounds like witchcraft. So I think that I'm doing my thing. I don't go to church, probably won't show up to church. I don't have the same fear. I call myself a witch all the time. And I low-key just be like provoking you, because it's just like, I'm not even a witch like that. I'm just playing with energy, because this is a physical plane, but there's also an energetic plane, and I spend way more time on the energetic plane than on the physical plane, because this physical plane literally is just a manifestation of everything that took place in the non-physical realm. Like, it had to be a thought first, or it had to be an idea first, it had to be an imagination first. But when it's in the state of being an imagination or in the state of being a thought, you can't put that into physical form. You just can't. Like, it's up there. It exists in a different realm. It's not tangible. I can't grab my thought and put it in my pocket, you know? So, I work on the energetic realm, and I use that Bible to play in their energetic realm. When it comes to this physical plane, if you're using the Bible to try and guide you like on this physical plane, everybody's free to do what they want to do. I just know that for me, that doesn't necessarily work out, because energy has to be transmuted into matter. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the way it is for me. I do want to just make 2 more points, or 3 more points, before I just cut off this video, because it didn't need to be that long. I study the Bible. Okay, I study the Bible with the intent to understand life. So like I said, I have to walk this earth, I have to navigate this physical plane, but I play in the energetic plane way more, because I know that's where pretty much everything starts. So I use it to understand, the balance. I use those metaphors. I see it and I apply it to my real life. So I know how it is for me, and I know that I seek to use the Bible as my book of shadows to understand the shadows of this world that we live in. Does that make sense? It's so fun, but whatever. I apply the wisdom. So anything that I learn, I look at the story, I see the metaphor, and I'm like, okay, has this situation shown up at all in my actual life? If it has shown up in my actual life, how does this story relate to this real life scenario? What can I take from this story and apply to this scenario so that I'm not in hell? Because hell is up here. Hell is not this physical plane. This is just a physical plane. Hell is my perception of this physical plane. How I exist in this physical plane. Am I living every day suffering, or am I living every day with joy? That's the way I see it. And I use the book of shadows, my book of shadows, to make sure that I'm not always in the shadows. And then if I need to spend some time in the shadows, I will be reflecting, and I will be figuring out how I can better myself. That's what I use the Bible for. I always have. That was always my intention. Let me see. Using rituals to, yes, the rituals. So fasting, any of the Day of Atonement, any of those type of rituals, I use those to raise my frequency and my vibration. It makes me feel better. So that's why I do it. I do things that feel good. That's my life motto. I do what feels good. So I don't believe in suffering. I don't believe in sinning. I don't feel guilt for anything that I do. There's just no point for it, because I'm not putting myself in hell. I refuse. I lived in hell already. I'm not going back. Okay, what's the last part I want to say? Oh, I already said that. So I'm not using the Bible to teach any agenda. I'm using the Bible to understand my life, my shadows. I'm applying the wisdom of the holy book, the book of shadows, the good book, to my actual real life. And I have no agenda. My only agenda is to better myself. So this is a very quick video. I just had to get that out because I haven't had to upload in a while. And I was feeling like, I have this list of videos that I want to make. So I figured I'd tap into one. My next one, I think I'm going to upload on my Zita La Diosa channel. I think I'm going to make it why I'm skeptical of light workers, because again, it's going to come right back to this book of shadows. I work with Book of Shadows. I'm working in the shadows, and that's pure. The darkness is pure to me. Like what we see in this physical realm is an illusion, literally. We can't even see everything. We can only see what these physical eyes can pick up. And I was having this conversation with my sister the other day because I'm like, okay, this tube of Carmex, right? I'm picking it up and I'm swinging it around and stuff like that. And scientists will say that this is an inanimate object, right? I really don't know if this is an inanimate object because my eyes can only see how I move it. I don't know if this thing, if I set it down on the table, if it can zoom out of my front door at the speed of light and then come back, because my eyes wouldn't even be able to pick that up. You know what I mean? So this physical realm, it's really not like where I place all my energy and my intention, because it's such a tiny fraction of where everything is coming from. You know what I mean? So on my Xena Lediosa channel, I'll probably do my upload why I'm skeptical of light workers, because they're all really, I raise my eyebrows at every single person who claims to be a light worker, because I'm like, okay, so then you aren't really tapping into super nature. You're tapping into this physical nature, the manifestation of what exists in another realm of darkness, but I'm working with the darkness because that's the starting point. Why would I start at the end and then try to manipulate what already exists? Anyway, yeah. So very short video. I'm at 17 minutes. I did not want to be on here for too long. I am still offering tarot card readings and birth chart readings for people. If that is something that you're interested in, if you are seeking guidance, I'm going to go ahead and put the ad up here. So you can go ahead and see what I'm about. And if you want to book with me, you can go ahead and do that. All of my contact information is, as you can see on the photo, but it also is going to be on my about page so that you can go ahead and check me out. And if you are seeking guidance, I have guidance to offer you. I will tap into your shadows. I'll go ahead and I'll talk to your demons. I'm not scared of the darkness. I'm not scared of the dark side. I promise you, I have just seen too much and been through way too much to be scared of some little demon, okay? So I know that I'm offering my services. If you're looking for something, I got you. And if you're not, I got you still. So thank you if you watch this video to the end. It's very short, nothing crazy. I just wanted to make something really quickly. I'm in that mood, you know, it's December. It's the end of 2021. And it was a year. Like, have to grow up, you know, you have to level up. Leveling up is not just about, you know, like having better dating options. Like, nah, you have to level up spiritually. You have to raise your vibration and your frequency, because at the rate that everything is transforming, especially like with technology, this physical matter that we have to be on the same, like we have to up the electricity levels in our body in order to survive without being sick. You know what I mean? So anyway, short video, less than 20 minutes, thank goodness. Again, if you watch to the end, thank you. And I'll see you in my next upload. Bye.